right, this is section 6.3, page 4. So we've got another theorem here that says, if a tangent segment and a secant segment are drawn to a circle from an external point. So let's do that. Let's take some point out here, and we're going to do a tangent. Okay, so like that. And a secant. So we'll do, that has to cross both. Okay, so here we go. We'll call this point A, we'll call this B, we'll call this C, and we'll call that D. Okay, now without the formula, let's see if we can figure it out. So we know that when we're talking about a secant, we say the external times the whole thing. Well, when we look at the tangent, aren't those exactly the same? The external times the whole thing would be BA times BA. When we do the secant, we'd have BC times BC times BD. Almost messed it up there. Okay, so BC times the whole thing, BD. Okay, let's go one step further. Isn't this BA squared? So it's BA squared equals BC times BD. Okay, let's read the theorem now. It says, then the square of the length of the tangent, isn't that what we did? We squared the length of the tangent, equals the product of the length of the secant, so the whole thing, BD, and its external segment, So if you use the old formula, it works that way too, so you really don't have to memorize more than one. Okay, let's do a problem that uses this. So we know that RT is equal to 4. So this part here is equal to 4. I kind of messed up the T there. And then TV is equal to 6. So this piece is equal to 6. And we're supposed to find RS. All right, well, the formula above applies. So we know that RS squared, we're going to multiply the external by the whole thing, is going to equal what? The whole thing, the secant's whole piece, times the external. I was kind of trying to do it external first. So let's do RT times the whole thing, RV. It really doesn't matter, though, what order you put that in. Okay, let's figure out what we know. We don't know RS, so we'll leave it be. RT is 4. And RV, what is RV? Be careful here. This piece here is TV. If we want to know the whole thing, how would we get the whole thing? We've got to add these two pieces up. So 4 plus 6 equals 10. Be careful to put a 10 in there. So RS squared is equal to 40. And then we'd want to take the square root of that, remembering to put in the plus and minus to keep you in good shape for your algebra class. Okay, so we get just RS here. Square root of a square gives you just that thing back. We know we can't have negative because it's the length of a line segment. So we're going to say just the positive, square root 40. So now, if you don't know much about radicals, you can leave that as an answer. But if you do, you're going to keep going and you're going to say, well, that's square root of 4 times square root of 10. That's a perfect square. 4 is a perfect square in 40. And then you go one more step, which is 2 square root 10. Square root of 4 is 2, and that's your answer. Okay, that concludes section 6.3.